seeing today, the performance that Blue and Zyder are putting out, they could easily move on past this team and go up against Acno and Blaze. We're starting off on Shipwreck. We're seeing a nice mix of characters on the screen. We're even seeing that beautiful key sword from Zyder. Now, you know he went to moments.gg/Brawlhalla to pick that one up.
He downloaded and installed.
Sick. Good to see that one coming out. We've already seen a lot of sword characters today. I haven't seen too many key swords. I think this is the first one that I've certainly noticed.
Yeah, there haven't been too many, but you got to believe because he's running that key sword, maybe he's running moments.gg to get some clips when they get some team combos. One thing that's good for this blue team is they do have a lot of combo potential. Lots of setup tools in that Hattori kit.
Nothing's pretty even so far. We're about 40 seconds into this game. We have a player in like the beginning stages of red and a player at the ending stages of red on both teams. Nice mix of characters. A lot of sword in this. Sort of the most sword-dominated set that we've kind of seen so far today. We've had a lot of variety in EU, but we have a Bodvar, we have a Hattori, we have a Koji, all three containing sword.
Yeah, and of course it's a great setup tool, but they're going to the heavies for the follow-ups, right? The hammer for the KO, stomp into the side air, the axe for that follow-up neutral air as well. And TM looks to be wanting to stick with this axe, at least for now.
Zyder spent some time on the bow early on in this set. He hit a nair on Swata just a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, we're on Shipwreck Falls, which means you're going to have to add up a lot of damage to get that neutral air KO off the top. Even with the recovery that has some more force on it, it's still at that 45-degree angle, which is virtually the furthest away that you can send to that blast zone before your opponent is knocked out.
Yeah, those angles can be rough. Offstage opportunity, great spot touch from Blue. He doesn't get the wall touch. Zyder's able to trade it out 2 for 1, but still Blue first one down to his final stock.
He was really close with that insig. The way he turned it around to get back over towards the wall, if his opponent went over there and got hit by it, that's a chase dodge that he can then use to get back on the main stage. Oh, went for the D-Light D-Sig, the Swata classic that a lot of players don't use quite as often as Swata does. Big fan of that one.
Yeah, that's kind of a meta read, right? Like, if you're not expecting it, you might get caught, but Zyder still going to fall on the right side, just didn't have the movement to get back onto the stage. And now the red team with a massive lead over the blue team.
This is definitely not a good start to game one here for Blue and Zyder going up against TM and Swata. Oh, Zyder's getting handled. Luckily, Blue is there to at least end it, but then now he has been taken out of the game. Zyder is all by his lonesome against the 4 stocks. 2 weapon tosses going his way. Iceberg came out showing Swata doing the gravity cancel, grabs the GC Insig as well. Zyder thought he was safe, but he wasn't.
I want to revisit that team combo because it was off the start of TM on the Lance, and oh my goodness, was Swata saying yes and. Pure improv, coming in with that hammer recovery to follow up, and TM was going for extra throughout just a Lance neutral. It got broken up, but I love the presence of mind to just be ready to follow up with something to keep it going.
So there you're seeing sort of TM and Swata, at least in game one, seem to be the better class of team. They had a lot more damage they could take, a lot more stocks they could lose by the time that game was over. And that's sort of reflected in the PRs as well. Blue coming in PR 16, Zyder coming in PR 19. Meanwhile, on the other side, TM coming in at PR 5. Swata coming in at PR 7. So a big difference between the PRs of these two teams.
Here we are. They're going to the same map, same picks for this one. Looks like the blue team's going to try to just make a small adjustment to bring this one back. So far, things looking relatively even, but again, Swata's so healthy.
He's living. They got some good damage on both Blue and Zyder. They had Zyder in like a 2v1 combo early on. Blue came in, but then Swata turned his sights on Blue, got a hit, went back to Zyder, then went back to Blue and got another hit. Early stocks taken away, one from each team, which you know the blue team is looking forward to. They didn't want to just lose their own stock. They ended up getting TM in the process as well. They just got to get that damage added up on Swata.
What a weapon toss from Swata. It looked like he was aiming for Blue, the closest person, but really it was all a bait. If Blue spot dodges it, then it goes past and knocks Zyder, and that's exactly what happened. A really good toss from Swata.
Both blue team members, they're sticking pretty close to one another. Now they're splitting up just a little bit as the red team splits, but no, you see Zyder moving immediately over to the left side, relieving some of the pressure on Blue that Swata was putting onto him while Blue was on the wall.
Oh my goodness, blue team is struggling a little bit. Nice downer there, kind of breaking up the red team, but blue team has not been able to close up, get next to each other for those team combos that you're looking for with this setup.
They're still trying to find that stock on Swata too. Even that side air, that didn't send him off screen. He has plenty of options to get back to the main platform. That recovery did get the KO. They've gotten TM in the process as well. We have ourselves a game here, Duke. It is 4 stocks to 3. Stocks are favoring the blue team, but health is favoring the red team.
Yeah, this is a slight lead for the blue team, but it's one of those kind of mirage leads, right? The red team needs to get one team combo, and suddenly they're taking it back, and blue's going to fall on the right side. Zyder going to try to capitalize, maybe go aggressive while he waits for his teammate to respawn, but nope. He'll be able to get up safely.
Blue hoping for a weapon spawn to come in. All the way on the right side, he gets knocked away, takes 2 hits, even takes a hit from Zyder's bow, a little bit of team damage there. He gets over to the right side, grabs the weapon spawn. Is he going to be edge guarded here?
Good
gets
chase
through
dodge.
it.
Oh man, that was a scary spot. The dares from TM almost led to an edge guard, but he was able to get the hit and chase dodge past both red team members. If he had fallen there, that would have been critical.
So red team is probably just looking at either member of the blue team, but blue team is especially looking at TM. They have the chance here. Are they going to be able to clean this one up before Swata comes in? He comes in, he's unarmed at the weapon disadvantage. Both of them are actually on the red team. So blue team could still control this game. They have the health advantage, at least when you kind of average things out between TM and Swata.
It's very interesting the way that the blue team is playing this 2v2 right now, right? Like, TM, very likely the target, right? Most damage person, doesn't want to leave Swata in the 1v2. And you see the blue team kind of trying to force it. They were playing really close to the corner there, but now TM's back, side air, he's got a lot of movement, and Blue's being a little indecisive, not sure which one he wants to go for, and Swata's going to take out Zyder.
Blue almost caught in the middle. That side air from TM, and the down air is going to clean that one up. The blue team, it seemed like they had it in their hands, and then it just kind of fell apart. It's like they had a block of ice, and they just kind of waited too long, and then all of a sudden it turned into liquid water. And as we know, we learned about liquids. We know what they are. It just kind of slipped through his fingers.
One of the stages of matter. It will go right through that. You know, it's a well, what liquid ice isn't a non-Newtonian fluid, but it was like they had a non-Newtonian fluid, right? Like you put on the force and suddenly it's really rigid.
Oh, true.
But when you just hold it, it just kind of slips on through. And that's what happened there. It's like they were trying to just maintain this slight lead, just keep TM out, and Swata was able to box out, win the 1v1 against Zyder, and they cleaned it up. Now, 2-0 lead for TM and Swata.
Now that's a doubly tough loss, not only because it seemed like it was in blue team's hands, but because they are now down 0-2 in this set to TM and Swata. So they're going to have to find something quick to get this back on track.
Yeah, and a reminder that this is on the lower side, so getting taken out here means they're done for the day. They're out of the SteelSeries Invitational.
We do see no character swaps coming out from either player on either team. Everything is basically going to stay the exact same, except if you're a blue team fan, hopefully the result will be a little bit different here.
Ooh, but Swata comes in, another beautiful stomp Zyder just in the middle of battle. Finds the KO, left side. Swata
nice.
Follows up with a weapon toss. Zyder with the turnaround recovery will keep the stock count even.
They're both going to have control of the weapons. They get the juggle to finish that stock up. They have the power play against Swata. You see him just kind of jumping and fast falling around, trying to stay away from everything, keep himself moving so he's not as much of a target. Oh, that was big.
Yeah, that was a massive ground pound coming out from TM, just completely controlling that side wall. And suddenly, things are back to even, but look at Swata's health bar. Someone who's been living so long is starting to get taken out.
A lot of chaos in the middle there. It was like one member of each team was caught in the combo. Swata's gonna fall. This is a very tough spot. Blue and Zyder in the orange on their second stocks. Swata on his final stock. TM very much in the red on his second stock, but it will take a little bit more. I take that back for that KO to be fully secure. Definitely in favor of the blue team, but we said that once before last game, Duke.
Well, it is a bigger lead, and it's going to get even bigger. Zyder with the huge edge guard on the left side. Now it's all left to TM in the 1v2. He's doing it, though. This is how you do a 1v2. Keep the opponent split, but that's a risky play, and is it going to pay off?
He's got to be done.
No, it won't. Blue team puts themselves on the board.
And they needed that one, and not only did they get the victory, getting some momentum in their favor in this tug-of-war between these two teams, but they had 4 stocks left. So that is a very good spot. That's going to give them that extra boost of momentum and confidence in the way that they play as they move into this next game, Game 4.
And again, no character swaps. Not too surprised to see that they're committed, but it's going to be a map swap. This time we're going to Mammoth. There's not going to be as wide of a box to get taken out, and then a little bit more platforms here with one.
Now, despite all of the character variation that we have seen today, all of the weapons that we've seen played today, this is probably one of the most meta team comp games that we've seen so far. Koji and Hattori, those are both pretty meta picks. Bodvar, of course, a meta pick. And Ulgrim is a meta pick in twos as well. Oh my gosh. Blue team is getting handled.
Yeah, blue team's struggling a little bit. I would say it's kind of like classic meta, where it was a lot more sword favored, versus like newer meta, which is a bit more heavy weapon favored.
I would say definitely like full sword teams. I wouldn't necessarily always bet on those being a Koji Hattori. That comp by itself is probably a little bit maybe traditional, like you're saying, versus like if you're gonna have double swords, a double Bodvar is super normal.
Oh, okay. Actually got mixed up there, right? Like Swata tried to break it up. He's going to go for both, and he does take out both. Was hoping that the lesser force on your teammate would keep TM alive, but that's okay. A trade is a trade.
Nice. Oh, the double. Weapon toss goes over. Blue had to actually dip down a little bit so that didn't hit him in the head.
Dude, Swata is playing hungry. The way he is chasing after Blue. Blue goes for these offstage, like kind of disengaged, but Blue gets the turnaround onto Swata, punishing him for being so hungry.
Now, I'm curious about that ground pound that he hit on his teammate. He then turned around and threw out a down air. I don't know if that was specifically directed at his teammate to get his teammate like out of the fray, which that's actually what happened. And if that was his idea, that was a good plan. It worked. Or if he was just throwing that down in case someone was below him, specifically an opponent, that he could remove from that situation and then focus on that opponent. So either way, either option that happened there is really a favorable one for Swata.
I mean, sometimes you got to just throw out the AoE and hope it works out, and in that case, it did. Red team, though, able to clean up the stocks of the blue team. Swata, again, the healthiest person on the board. The blue team's win condition, in my opinion right now, is to get the damage onto Swata. That's what worked in the last game, but TM going for the offstage.
We're now basically seeing the same spread in terms of damage and stocks left to what we saw last game on the other side. In this case, it's the red team in the lead 4 stocks to 2, whereas last time it was blue team in the lead with 4 stocks to 2. TM doesn't seem to be wanting to get knocked out anytime soon. Got sent off the screen, but look, man, he's still swinging. His lance is still blasting away. He has so many movement options. He can still go that deep and come back.
This is a very confident TM, willing to play those offstage lance, the offstage unarmed against Zyder. Follow-up doesn't get the hit. They needed that.
Swata's going to get back to the main platform. That is so tough to not be able to pick up that KO. I think that was probably blue team's last hope that didn't involve like a real true miracle.
Well, right now they got to be hoping for another one, because they are behind. They are 1 hit each from getting taken out of this one, and Zyder going to go for the save with a gravity cancel neutral light. Good avoidance of the Ulgrim down sig. But another side air. Zyder might be out. All right, blue gets taken out. It's all left to Zyder. TM's going to hit the ground pound, and just like that, TM and Swata going to close it out 3-1 over blue and Zyder.
Holy cow, TM's numbers. 788 damage. I believe he picked up 4 of the KOs as well. We talked about Swata that game, and of course he did play good, but TM was really the workhorse of that, doing so many favorable matchups, so many good things. He was checking off so